that I was introduced to a concept in that time that allowed me to earn more money than I had ever earned before. I earned 7 figures in that period, guys. That was absolutely phenomenal, and it came because I helped so many other people to earn money as well. What am I saying? We're coming into another period. I believe in a 7-year cycle. I believe that every 7 years something happens, especially in the financial world. We're talking about from 2008 to 2009, and then you fast forward to 2015, you talk about 7 years. Some people are having trouble right now using their credit cards, debit cards, for simple stuff like gas. They don't know what's going on. They cannot articulate what's happening. They just know something is happening. Well, what we do in this session is we educate people on what's going on in the global financial world that's affecting us right here in the United States, that's affecting you right in your home, that is affecting your pockets. That's what we're going to do on today. Then when we're dealing with inflation, this is reality, guys. We're talking about you going into a grocery store expecting to spend $50. You end up spending $100. But when you look in your basket, all you have is about $20 worth of groceries. That is a sad reality because most people are trying to figure out why their money is not going as far as it used to go. You remember your grandparents, or even parents for that matter, saying, shoot, $1 used to go so far. I remember when I used to be able to get this with $1. Now you try to give a 5-year-old $1, they're like, $1? Because they know the dollar don't go for it. A 5-year-old looking for a 20. Like, hold on now, wait a minute. $1, they want a 5 at least to be able to get half of what you got when you got that 50 cents.
Exactly.
So we're talking about right now, we're living in a time of inflation, but we're going into a time of hyperinflation. Now, this is why you're here. Because before we move into the period of hyperinflation, we're saying, listen, we want to make sure that we're doing our part as a community effort in educating the masses of people so that we won't be like most people were back in 2008 and 2009 who never had the opportunity to get information so that they could have made the right choice, okay? Then we're talking about people living from paycheck to paycheck. Guys, do you imagine, could you believe that most people, if they just miss one check, they're in serious trouble. They may not be able to feed their families. Then you're talking about half of Americans are on some type of government assistance. You know, I posted something on my Facebook page recently, and it talked about, it came from Fox. Fox News reported that by 2016, they're expecting for Social Security for disability to be completely ran out.
Wow.
By 2016, a few months away. This is what they reported. Now, here's what I know. I'm a global ambassador with the United Nations at large. That means that I'm privy to some information that most people may not get. I know this for a fact. If they announced it on the news, then it ain't because they just found out about it. They're just not ready for the masses to know. So what I'm telling you is why you're just not hearing about disability for Social Security, what you have to understand is there's several other government assistance that's on that list that are already being swiped off, that they're preparing for. In fact, they did a test in Louisiana recently. You had a few people that were in the grocery store preparing to get groceries and the baskets was left in the aisles because their food stamp card didn't work. It was a test. You got military assistance already set up right now because they're preparing for the chaos that's going to come forward when these things happen to the masses of the people. You see, here's the sad reality. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. You got a lot of people who, I love how Dawn $1 Million Wilson says it. She said, you know, a lot of times we talk about in God we trust. But the reality is, it is in Gov we trust. We believe that our government is not going to leave us hanging. Well, maybe my philosophy is a little bit different because of what I experienced. I went through Hurricane Katrina. And I would have thought that the government was difficult, that was going to take care of us. We had no idea that homeowners and business owners and successful people would be standing in line for food and clothes, that it was our community who was helping us to provide in those times. So what am I saying? This is a community effort to get the word out. If we don't tell the people that are in our community, the people that are around us, the people that look like us, they probably won't know. Because by the time they see it on the media, trust me, it's already too late to do something about it. Okay? So here's what I can tell you. There are people like Sean Diddy Combs, Alan Greenspan, Queen Elizabeth, Robert Kiyosaki, one of my greatest mentors. This is a gentleman that I still look at his YouTube videos to today. In fact, I just recently found some information at home from a couple of the conferences that we went through. This man was so powerful, he believed in dying empty. He believed that while you were here, you needed to serve your gifts in such a way that when you were gone, you left so much here, it's like you still here. So what I'm saying is, guys, these are people that we all know and respect, guys. You even have Donald Trump up there. And if I asked you, what do these people all have in common? For the guests in the room, what would you say? What would you think about it? If anybody want to comment on what do they think these people have in common in the room for the guests? Yes. Yeah. They're wealthy. I agree. I totally agree. Anybody else? What do you think these people all have in common? Some people may say real estate. Some people may say business moguls. And guess what? Y'all all will be right. But the reality is they have chosen to protect their wealth by saving it in gold. You think they know something that most people don't know? Well, here's what they do know. They know that the rest of the world is already moving to gold. You got the country China that's buying up more gold than can be mined out of the ground. They are still the #1 gold buyers to today. Why are they buying up so much gold? You got Utah and Arizona that recently passed a bill that says, guess what? You can use gold for goods and services. Now you can exchange it as a medium of exchange. You can use it as money. You got BRICS, which is an alliance between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa that say, you know what? We're going to depeg ourselves away from the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar, it's not backed by anything anymore. It's worth $18 trillion of debt. We don't need the U.S. dollar for me to do. Brazil don't need the U.S. dollar anymore to do a business with Russia. At one point, because we're still the world reserve currency, in order for Brazil to do business with Russia or India or any one of these countries, they have to transfer from their currency to the U.S. dollar. That means that even when we was not in the transaction, we still was in the deal.
Right.
So that means as Americans, we had so many privileges because we were the world reserve currency. You go into another country with that dollar, they were excited to take that dollar. Anybody traveled abroad recently? I know Dr. Hammerly was recently here. You guys may remember seeing her on Bravo. I think they're still airing right now, a show called Married to Medicine. She's an affiliate with Carib Arts International. A few weeks ago, she was here and she was saying that, you know, I went to Paris a few years back, like 5 years ago, and they was excited to take my dollar. I went back 2 years ago and nobody wanted the dollar. Nobody wanted her money. Because it's only us in the United States that have not got the memo as to what the dollar really is right now.
Exactly.
Okay? So now you have gold ATM machines that are on the city streets in New York, Boca Raton, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, coming right here to Buckhead, Atlanta, in a city near you. Now what I would have to say is, why would we need gold on demand unless they were preparing for a financial paradigm shift? Y'all remember the last financial paradigm shift we were in? Y'all remember at one point we used paper dollars for everything? We had paper for everything. There was no plastic. There was no digital money. You can't call up on the phone. You got to mail somebody a check. Because you're not getting those services by shopping online. Because you got to mail some stuff out. All of a sudden, you had ATM machines, these machines that you can actually go to that's going to give you cash when you need it because they transferred you to the plastic system. What I want to know is, did they get anybody permission to do that? Did anybody get like a survey in the mail to see if they were okay with transferring us to that system, or was it just automatically every corner you went to they had an ATM machine? Guys, they don't need your permission. That's why they already got gold ATM machines on the street. That's why they have so many cash for golds that are popping up everywhere, because the system is shifting. You got countries and wealthy that's putting all their money into gold because the system is shifting. So what our role and responsibility is to make sure that we're not leaving the masses of people out of the shift. Because how many people know that if you get in on the front end of that shift, you can actually experience a wealth transfer? But if you sit back and wait and watch it happen, you will most definitely experience a recession, because that means things is coming. See, what happens in a wealth transfer or recession is that money is moving quickly. The question is it going to move quickly to you, wealth transfer, or from you, recession? It only means that money is moving quick. It's shifting. We're in a shift. Today you have an opportunity to get at the forefront of the shift. Why? Because really, this is going to be the only solution for the masses. I recognize that when you talk about gold, usually it's a conversation only for the wealthy. In fact, when I got involved, you know, one of the reasons I got involved was because I wanted to have some gold in my safe, like the wealthy people on TV. You see the rich people on the movies? What they got when they open up their safe? They never just have paper in there. They always have these bricks of gold. So why wouldn't I want to be involved in that? Most people think they can't afford it. Next slide, please. Well, I can tell you right now, 40 years ago, when we're talking about gold, here's what we have to do as a community, because the Jewish community, they jump in this thing and they run. The whole family. And the Asian community, they get it. The Indian community, they get it. They know gold is money. We have to still switch and flip in the minds of our people to say, listen, I'm not talking about gold is jewelry. I'm talking about gold is money. And if you're chasing dollars and working for dollars and everything you do is about dollars, then what you need to understand is gold is the new dollar. So what we have to do is educate our people to understand that you don't want to be left out of this. So here's a great scenario. 40 years ago, gold would have bought you about 5 loaves of bread. 40 years ago, $1 would have bought you about 4 loaves of bread. Well, what does that mean? That means that a gram of gold and a dollar bill was running neck and neck. That means that when you fast forward to today, a gram of gold will buy you more than it bought you 40 years ago. It'll buy you about 25 loaves of bread. So if you had gold, then you would be looking, you'd have multiplied your money, right? But if you try to get some bread with $1, then all you would get is a few slices. What happened? What happened is gold has maintained its purchasing power. And as you can see, you get more now for it than you did then. Right. The dollar has lost. In fact, the dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power, while gold has soared 4,300%. Well, if you notice today, and you see we're in a bit of a shift, you see things are not as stable as it needs to be. You see that when you go and use your card, sometimes you don't work, you don't know why. You got people talking about the collapse of this economy and something may happen to the dollar. What are you going to do with that information? Are you numb to it because you don't know what to do? Are you seeking for a solution or a vehicle so that you can be at the right side of this thing? Or you want to just sit back and watch it play out? I'm going to tell you right now, knowing this, I'm trying to put as much money in gold as I possibly can. I'm more afraid to keep it in $1. Talking about something, you ain't nervous about moving up? Not at all. You know why? Because if all else, I could always move it back to paper if I ever needed to. Why would I want to hold a declining dollar? And I already know that I cannot purchase today with $100 what I was able to purchase just a year ago. And you talking about saving money. How much you talking about saving? So you going to save money to win? Oh, you got a 5-year plan. Oh, okay. Or a year plan. Okay, so you're going to save how much until next year? Or you want to save $300 a month? I think it's great that you save. I just think it's important for you to use wisdom. I think it's important for you to follow the trends of the wealthy. When you got Robert Kiyosaki that's saying savers are losers, he's saying that for a reason. He's telling you that why would you save something that's losing its value by the day? Just to say you did it? Wow. Because you're not going to be able to get as much with it next year that you can get with it today. Well, what's the solution then, Dr. Chyna? Put your money in gold, because gold works as a hedge of protection against inflation. It does not lose value.